decided he was going to get. The thing is, they put him in jail, and they'd stay up all night singing and praying and disrupt the jail. And Bull Connor, after 3-4 days, got tired of that. And I was in Birmingham trying to arrange for them to get out. And I was asleep one night in a motel, and the FBI called me and said the Freedom Riders had been kidnapped. I said, the Freedom Riders in jail, how could they possibly be kidnapped? He said, we don't know, but there's a caravan, cars, and they took the Freedom Riders out of the jail, and we'll get back to you. A few minutes later, they called back and said, I don't think you need to worry. Commissioner Bull Connor has got them in a motorcade. And they thought he was going to take them all the way back to Nashville. And what he did was take them to the Tennessee-Alabama line, took them just across the line and dumped them. Dumped them in the middle of the night. And very rural country. And they saw down the road a little ways lights in a house, and they went and knocked on the road door, and black family lived there. Man came to the door and immediately said, you're the Freedom Riders, and was going to turn them away, but his wife brought him in, fed him. I said there are things you find out as time goes on. I had never known. They sent a station wagon down from Nashville to the state line to pick them up, take them back to Birmingham. One of the young women had said to Bull before he left him, we'll see you at high noon. We'll be back in Birmingham by high noon. And so they call from this man's house, they call Nashville, and the station wagon comes out. All these years later, I didn't know where they got the station wagon. I knew the guy whose name had drove it. It was Lillard. But Susan Wilbur's in here with her husband, and she said, it was my mother's station wagon. So, and I said, well, and Susan Wilbur's white. I said, and she said, my mother was so wrapped up in what we were doing that she was happy to let them borrow her station wagon, and so they sent the station wagon down. Packed all these kids into that station wagon. Took them back to Birmingham, and by high noon they were back in Birmingham, and shortly afterward back in Bull's jail. It's a great story, It's a real. It's a story of great heroism, great courage. They, as I say, I never sit down with them, but at some point I say, where did the courage come from? There's a fellow named Rip Patton who was one of the Freedom Riders, and Rip and I are on a commission. They're creating some art to go downtown now. Rip and I are on the commission to help decide about the art, and Rip Patton was in Parchment Prison with John, and he said, we were having one of the commission meetings, and he said, I was there. I remember it. But he said there are little anecdotes that pop up periodically that I never heard of. And he said, for example, that Ray Arsenault's book lists every freedom rider by name. And Rip said, not so. And he's got the names of 3 women who won the freedom rides whose names aren't listed. And he says they're probably more than that, and they probably are. And I'm trying to start a website now to put on all the names of people who participate in the sit-ins, so that we'll have a record of who they were, and so their children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren say, Aunt Hattie or Granny Lou was part of that sit-in movement, and take some pride in it.
That's really great. Thank you so much for your time. We really
You're very
appreciate it.
welcome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.